Hello from Krakow, Poland.
The Theory Underground American Idiots Tour has been going now for over 3 weeks.
The events in Glasgow and London are now fully booked, and there is no possibility for getting anyone in who hasn't already reserved a spot. So sorry, but this is actually a great problem for us to have.
Wah, wah, wah.
But actually, it's good though.
This video is about the last stop of this tour in Oxford. Tickets are not sold out for this one, at least yet. In fact, they just became available, I think like 1 or 2 days ago. So get on it, ASAP.
If you're within traveling distance of Oxford, you will want to check this one out.
But also, anyone who has been following us on this tour, we think you will be interested to hear about the topics of the talks we are giving at the Museum of Consciousness at Oxford University. Also, just like the fact that it's Oxford, it's kind of crazy. It's like, what? We're going to be there?
It's super crazy, dude. Like, it's not even really real yet because it's like so crazy.
Yeah, it's blowing our minds. We hope you'll enjoy this video.
Yeah, a lot. It's going to be cool.
First, we are going to hear from Carl Hayden Smith reading the event description for this event. Carl Hayden Smith is instrumental not just in making this event happen, but also with the Museum of Consciousness. Stick around until near the end to hear his speaker bio and the theme of his talk.
Welcome to the Museum of Consciousness and Theory Underground. The museum challenges artists to produce a reliable and measurable altered state of consciousness in a live audience using only sound. After 8 sold-out shows across the world and multiple festival cameos, the Museum of Consciousness is teaming up with Theory Underground to explore consciousness of time energy. This intimate and cutting-edge exhibition will be hosted at Oxford University on Saturday the 25th of May from 2 p.m. till 7 p.m. Despite what clocks and calendars might tell us, all time is not created equal. Setting aside useful abstractions, this event aims to consider ways in which our consciousness of time shows that it is intimately related to energy. Time without energy is useless for much more than sleep. Energy without reliable and large blocks of repeatable time hinders us from discovering and developing our talents. Time energy signifies large, energy-infused, repeatable blocks of time reliably afforded throughout one's life. In a job-centric society, it gets reduced to nothing more than labour power. We live our whole lives as though the months and years are created equal. But childhood and old age shows us that different times or different energies necessarily impact how we relate to time energy. Join us to hear 5 philosophers present on the consciousness of time energy. These transmissions are part of a Theory Underground book tour for the book Time Energy. The Theory Underground tour crew is joined by EU locals Cadell Last and Carl Hayden Smith. We will also have a musical interlude provided by Microcosmos.
Now it's going to be like this. Every speaker reads their own transmission description, followed by somebody else reading that person's speaker bio. Consciousness of time energy. This transmission will take the listening audience through a series of thought experiments and exercises on the consciousness of time and energy. These will show the priority we normally give to live time as opposed to the rigid, linear, and infinite form of time often assumed. Time is not all created equal because its quality is intimately dependent on energy. For example, consider the difference between exhausted time and energized time. This opens the ability to think about time energy, which is prior to the job-centric separation of time from energy in our practical lives. Time energy is large, energy-infused, repeatable blocks of time reliably available between us. Consciousness of time energy as opposed to mere time will prove essential for distinguishing between what one does or does not have control over. By doing this, we are better empowered to make strategic decisions about our approach to both time and energy. More importantly, perhaps, is how time-energy theory calls into question most of the values prioritized in today's politics.
David McKerracher is the organizer for and founder of Theory Underground, a teaching, research, and publishing platform by and for dropout workers with earbuds and burnt-out postgrads who want to understand the situation as a means towards figuring out the conditions of possibility for the good life. McKerracher's background is in critical theory, political philosophy, existentialism, and phenomenology. All of McKerracher's work revolves around a single question: what is the good life? McKerracher's questioning into the conditions of possibility for living the good life led him to an MA thesis on time energy, the existential basis of labor power. This work draws heavily from Marx and Heidegger. McKerracher developed this concept further in his first book called Waypoint, Time Energy, Critical Media Theory, and Social Change, and his second book, simply titled Time Energy, Why You Have No Time or Energy, because time energy theory requires a more robust theory of libidinal economy and ideology. McKerracher has spent the last few years learning Žižekian and Lacanian theory of ideology from his compatriot Michael Downs. Theory Underground is McKerracher's vehicle for cultivating the kind of research and conversation necessary to take this project to the next level, the long-term goal of which is to overcome the current culture war deadlocks by inquiry into their conditions of possibility. The goal of this work is to pave a way forward for humanity to maintain the conditions of a robust cultural plurality, harness automation for all, and ultimately explore the universe.
The solitude and solicitude crisis. We are living through a crisis of solitude and solicitude, meaning we don't have any. This transmission will draw from the work of Sherry Turkle's Reclaiming Conversation to present for the listening audience a way of thinking about how genuine being with others, solicitude, is dependent upon genuine being with oneself, solitude. This is what Turkle calls the virtuous circle. The virtuous circle is jeopardized by our age of distraction, which is largely brought on by the attention economy as a way of keeping us entertained while neoliberalism burns the world beneath our feet. Almost every aspect of the now global, hyper-capitalist, and job-centric American culture collapses time energy into its reduction to labor power. By introducing the concept of the virtuous circle, we will have a strong basis to understand how time energy is crucial to founding and maintaining meaningful relationships with others and ourselves. How is big tech, neoliberal education, and the hope of the American dream robbing us of our ability to connect and live meaningful lives? Let's talk about it.
Anne Snellgrove-McKerracher's background is in social science research. Snellgrove-McKerracher studied the neoliberalization of higher education at Boise State University, where she now teaches. Snellgrove-McKerracher developed and has taught a course on the related topic, Is College Worth It? The question that has driven all of her research, as well as her past political activity, has always been, what is the good life? At Theory Underground, Snellgrove-McKerracher is a co-instructor for the idea of the university digital literacy and CMT, critical media theory, and critical doxology and time energy, or CDT. When not doing theory-related research, she can be found traveling the world with her husband David McKerracher, learning languages, reading novels, baking, hiking, and participating in local theater.
We live in the future. We have our flying cars and robot butlers and fabricator units. They're all just a little difficult to recognize because we were promised that all these things would be made freely available to all of us in a post-scarcity, post-strife utopia. The thing is, those things were never going to be available to the masses. They were always to be reserved for those with the right stuff. So, this is the future, huh? Is there no alternative? We seem to be set on a course that ends in disaster, at least for the overwhelming majority of us, and most people seem to be content with speeding us all on our way to ultimate doom and destruction, even if they tell themselves they're doing otherwise. I believe there is an alternative, a future in which something human indeed not only makes it out, but in fact thrives and flourishes. But I believe we must radically reimagine what it means to be an individual in today's world, a political subject, a member of a family, a person with an ultimate telos that can only be incorporated into the bigger picture once that person has had the space and time energy to culminate their virtual potential. Join me as I maunder and wander about how our collective lack of time energy is the only thing keeping our robots and fabricators out of our hands.
Nance would have been just another disgruntled denizen of the internet were it not for the decades spent trying to take his education seriously in order to build himself into a subject with something to contribute to the conversations about the situation. A decade that led him to the conclusion that a project such as Theory Underground was the only path forward for people such as himself. He has been and is many things in this life, from homeless teenage punk rocker to young father holding down multiple jobs while attending and quickly leaving university on an academic scholarship, to American soldier in Iraq, to corrections officer and eventually mental health care provider, to incarcerated and adjudicated youth, to truck driver, to gig worker, and many things in between. Aside from being published alongside some of the biggest names in contemporary theory and the brightest stars in the underground theory scene, in Underground Theory coming to a city near you, and touring the world in support of the anthology's release, and Nolly Dolphin Flips, Nance doesn't have any accomplishments he feels like talking about, but he is immensely grateful for all of your attention.
Time energy may represent a first principle for a new political landscape that frees the human species being from necessary labor. But if a new politics opens a new general relation to time energy, the human species will not be welcomed to a utopian positivity, but rather confronted with a new set of higher-order problems and tensions. In this presentation, I attempt to outline some of the problems and tensions that may characterize a human species with a new relation to time energy, with a specific focus on creativity and self-differentiation. While most human beings throughout history were preoccupied with necessary labor, a human species in control of its time energy will be forced to confront problems and tensions of creativity and self-differentiation. Moreover, these issues of creativity and self-differentiation may represent the principle of problematics and tensions that have characterized modern and postmodern philosophical thought, and thus may point towards a fertile zone for future thinking on what it means to embed philosophy in actual historical processes.
Cadell biography. Cadell Last is the creator and founder of Philosophy Portal, an online education platform focused on teaching the foundational philosophical discourses of the modern world and creating new online and physical event spaces where philosophy can become actual. He is also the author of Global Brain Singularity, a book introducing the theory of human evolution inclusive of technological singularity, and Systems and Subjects, a book seeking to open a conversation between general systems, science, and continental philosophy.
It is all for you and none of it is yours. This talk will explore whether structured journaling can be used as a tool for managing our own time energy. Can the application of journaling as a structured exercise help to not only plan and reflect upon life as it happens, but also allow us to act with intention and purpose? The practice employs a multimodal journaling framework integrating digital documents, multimedia, including pictures, video and audio, and analog notebooks to capture various dimensions of personal experience, actions, emotions and thoughts. This method aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of a life and thought processes over time. This structured approach to journaling provides many benefits, including a pragmatic and effective method to actively participate in your own life's narrative, fostering a sense of coherence and continuity in personal development, enhancing decision-making capabilities, and gaining wisdom from experiences by achieving a higher order perspective on life. Providing a structured way to reflect on past actions and future intentions helps us to leverage our historical and philosophical insights and ultimately optimize the interplay between our time and energy. Can this technique lead us towards evdharmoniya, the state of human flourishing and living well?
Carl Hayden Smith is Associate Professor of Media in the School of Arts and Creative Industries at UEL and is the former Head of Research and Director of the Learning Technology Research Centre at the Institute for Creativity and Technology, Ravensbourne University, London. Raising over £10 million in research funding, he has led numerous teams on large-scale international projects, including Erasmus+, FP7, Horizon 2020, Innovate UK, and the X Prize. He has 30 years of experience conducting R&D into the application of hybrid technologies for perceptual, cognitive, and creative transformation. His research focuses broadly on the relationship between technology and the human condition. Carl is developing hyperhumanism, which reframes technology as a catalyst for developing our own innate human abilities. His other research interests include embodied cognition, spatial literacy, context engineering, Umwelt hacking, natural media, sensory augmentation, extended senses, and embodiment. His additional projects include AR4EU, Code Reality, Hobbes Academy, and Holotechnica. He is also co-founder of the Cyberdelic Society and founder of the Museum of Consciousness based at Oxford University. His key industry partners include Microsoft, Epic Games, Unity, Hanson Robotics, and his key academic partners include Oxford and Imperial. He has given over 300 public lectures, conference presentations, and keynotes across 60 countries and published more than 50 academic papers.
All right, everybody, that's it for the transmission descriptions and speaker bios. Thank you so much for listening to this point, and I hope that you will be able to attend physically in Oxford. If not, no worries. We hope to catch you at the next one because Theory Underground is coming to a city near you.
Theory Underground, American Idiots European Tour 2024, coming to a city near you if you're in Europe. Our book tour is taking us all over Europe during the month of May. Theory Underground's American Idiots Tour is about anti-intellectualism in the United States. The U.S. is the world leader in anti-intellectualism and is exporting it to the world via the crises of distraction and exhaustion, two symptoms of this new phase of capital expansion and belligerent state decrepitude. Hear from the Theory Underground crew about the existential and structural possibilities for cultivating intellectual and creative culture for regular working people and university graduates alike. Theory Underground is a teaching, research, and publishing platform by and for workers, autodidacts, and academics who want to do more than they are able to within the confines of academia.
This tour is promoting two new publications from our underground press. David McKerracher's Timenergy, Why You Have No Time or Energy, is about how our job-centric society interferes with self-actualization and meaningful relationships. Starting with the fact that we are all exhausted all of the time, McKerracher builds out a critique between Heidegger and Marx, going on to the schooling system itself and the possibilities for a new approach to technological automation and post-careerist education. Underground Theory, coming to a city near you, includes 31 authors, including big names like Slavoj Žižek and unknown warehouse workers in the U.S. who are students of past courses at Theory Underground. Its main four themes are education, politics, theory, and history, with a big emphasis on critical media theory, how our technological artifacts determine our social existence, and the failures of the neoliberal university. And others, such as time energy theory, the PMC, and post-left political critique, to name a few.
Tour dates: April, Paris and Brussels. By the time you're listening to this, it's too late, but we would have loved to see you here. Berlin, May 10th, 7 p.m., the Psychoanalytic Library, Time, Energy, and Psychoanalysis. In Austria, Linz, May 13th at 7 p.m., Time, Energy, and the Good Life. In Vienna, May 14th, 7 p.m., Time, Energy, and Anti-Intellectualism. Krakow, May 18th, 5 p.m., Post-Leftism and Time, Energy. Glasgow, May 22nd, 7 p.m., Time, Energy, and the Darkest Timeline. London, May 24th, 7 p.m., Anti-Intellectualism, Its Causes. Oxford, May 25th, 2 to 7 p.m., The Consciousness of Time Energy.
The links are in the description. All right, everybody. Looking forward to seeing you on tour. Peace.
Peace. Wu-Tang.
He has given over 300 public lectures, conference presentations, and keynotes across 60 countries and published more than
in order to build himself into a subject with
neoliberalization.